In the chaotic years after the American Civil War, a new kind of crime was born, one that would define the Wild West and create legends. This is the story of the Reno Brothers, a band of outlaws from Indiana who didn't just break the law, they rewrote the book on thievery. On a cool autumn evening in 1866, they did something no one had ever dared to do before. They robbed a moving train. This single act of audacity launched a reign of terror, sparked a nationwide manhunt led by the legendary Pinkerton Detective Agency, and ended in a blaze of brutal frontier justice. Before we delve into the heist, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the Calendar of Crime. Your support helps us unearth these incredible stories from the past. Our story begins not in the dusty plains of the West, but in the seemingly quiet farmlands of Rockford, Indiana. The Reno family, headed by Jay Wilkeson and Julia Ann Reno, raised 5 sons and a daughter on their 200-acre farm. While their upbringing was strictly religious, 4 of the brothers, Frank, John, Simeon, and William, along with their sister Laura, found the allure of rebellion far more appealing than their Bible studies. Only one brother, Clinton, would earn the nickname Honest Clint and steer clear of the family's criminal enterprise. The brothers' descent into crime was gradual but steady. It started with crooked card games, bilking unsuspecting travelers along the farm roads. Soon, they escalated to horse theft and arson, becoming a notorious menace in their community. The outbreak of the Civil War provided a new, more lucrative opportunity. Frank and John became bounty jumpers, enlisting in the Union Army to collect the cash bonus, only to desert and repeat the process elsewhere, profiting from the very system designed to build an army. With the war's end in 1865, the brothers returned to Indiana, hardened and more ambitious than ever. They formed a ruthless gang, terrorizing the Midwest with robberies and murders. They became so organized and feared that local law enforcement was powerless, and witnesses were too terrified to testify. It was Frank, the eldest, who conceived of the idea that would cement their infamy: robbing a train. The target was Seymour, Indiana, a crucial rail hub with valuable cargo passing through daily. On the evening of October 6, 1866, the plan was set in motion. 3 members of the gang, John and Simeon Reno, along with Frank Sparks, boarded an Ohio and Mississippi Railroad train as it chugged out of the Seymour depot. Once aboard, they broke into the express car, overpowered the loan guard, and cracked open the local safe, making off with what is estimated to be between $13,000 and $16,000, a fortune at the time. For the bigger prize, the through safe shipped from St. Louis, they simply heaved it out of the moving train. Waiting below were Frank Reno and the rest of the gang. But the massive safe proved too tough to crack. Their efforts were cut short by an approaching posse, alerted by a witness named Gordon Kinney. The gang fled, leaving the safe behind, but their message was clear. A new era of outlawry had begun. Tragically, the witness, Gordon Kinney, was found mysteriously murdered just a month later, a grim warning to any who dared to cross the Reno Gang. The audacity of the world's first moving train robbery sent shockwaves across the country. The Adams Express Company, which suffered the loss, hired the best in the business to hunt the robbers down, the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. This marked the beginning of the end for the Reno Gang. The Pinkertons, led by the relentless Alan Pinkerton himself, began a methodical and unyielding pursuit. Despite the heat, the Renos continued their crime spree, robbing courthouses and other trains across the Midwest. But the Pinkertons were always one step behind. John Reno was the first to fall, captured in Seymour, and sentenced to 25 years in a Missouri prison. Other gang members were apprehended in Iowa, only to stage a daring jailbreak on April 1, 1868, leaving behind a taunting note that read, "April Fools." Their most profitable heist came in May 1868, when they stole an incredible $96,000 from another train. But their luck was running out. The Pinkertons cleverly set a trap on another train, lying in wait inside the express car. When the gang attempted to rob it, they were met with a hail of bullets. Several were captured, but this time, the law wouldn't get to pass judgment. A shadowy group known as the Jackson County Vigilance Committee, fed up with the gang's reign of terror, took the law into their own hands. On 3 separate occasions, they stormed jails and overpowered lawmen, dragging the captured gang members from their cells. In a series of brutal lynchings, 10 members of the Reno Gang were hanged from the boughs of a large beech tree, a place that would become known as Hangman's Crossing. The final act of vengeance came on December 12, 1868. The vigilantes, some 50 strong, descended on the New Albany jail, a supposedly secure facility where the remaining brothers, Frank, William, and Simeon, were being held along with another gang member. They beat the sheriff, seized the keys, and dragged the 4 men to the top of an iron staircase. There, in the cold pre-dawn hours, the last of the Reno Gang were hanged, bringing their bloody chapter in American history to a violent close. John Reno, the only brother to escape the hangman's noose, was eventually released from prison. He returned to a life of crime and died in 1895. The Reno Brothers' legacy is a dark and violent one, but their 1866 heist forever changed the landscape of crime, creating the blueprint for the legendary train robberies that would come to define the Wild West. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.